Sophie Cunningham putting the WNBA media in their place. They won't understand that, of course. They won't take the hit. The hint. They're going to connect it to the recent uproar over some things that Sophie Cunningham said back in February when she was asked a question. For those who don't understand that and the timeline, Sophie Cunningham did an interview in the offseason in February. She was asked a specific question about the issue of female sports, and she answered pretty matter of factly. I believe the interview then came out recently, and of course, the media kept the flames going. They were fanning the flames, getting them to grow, asking Sophie Cunningham again. I believe they asked, people are saying, oh, she didn't stand on it when she stood on it like two or three or four different times. I mean, honestly, it felt like some of the stuff they asked Caitlin Clark about with the bots that say things they don't like, and Caitlin has to go denounce them all. So Sophie Cunningham's decided to say, hey, man, can we focus on basketball? And that is the issue I want to get into is the WNBA basketball and the WNBA media. It is not about that specific issue. Okay. So let's be clear with that right now. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you for being here. Appreciate all your support. Hope you all having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. We're getting some hot ones here, folks. Allergies kicking in, hot, humid weather. Man, I don't know where you are, but it's rough. It's rough here. Anyway, all right, let's dig in. Sophie, Sophie, here we go.
Much good going on in the WNBA. I think that basketball is being played at the highest level it's ever been. I think our team in specific, we are breaking history right now with the amount of points that we're scoring on back-to-back games. I think the Minnesota game, there's just so much distraction. I think the WNBA media, all we ever do is cover everything except basketball. And it's like what are we doing? There's so much. Like, you can talk about other things. I think those are great stories. I think it shows fans, who people are outside of the court. But I also think we got to keep the main thing. And I think when it comes to the Minnesota game, I think there is so much distraction. But like the matchup between Miles and Kelsey was phenomenal. Our team, I mean, that game in particular was a great game. And so I think that there's a lot to be said, and I'm going to let people just do the speaking for themselves. But for me, I want to get back to basketball. It's always been about basketball. That interview happened in February when I was asked a question. And so for me, I just want to, make sure that it stays, the focus stays where it should, because people are playing at such a high level. We have probably like 3 MVPs that could be MVPs on our team specifically. And so that's why I want to do that. No, I was asked a question, and that's simply what it was. I just wasn't making a statement to make a statement. And so I was trying to clear the air, and I did that back in February. And so it is what it is. And like I said, we're in the middle of the season. I'm going to keep it that. We talk about a bunch of distraction. Our team is good. My teammates are good. Our locker room is great. And so now we're just here about to prepare for Las Vegas, and that's where our mind is at. I think that there's
Sophie. My first biggest observation is, my Lord, woman, could your ears be pierced enough? Are you kidding me with that right now? Anyway, I just noticed that. I did not know that Sophie Cunningham had 97 piercings in her ears alone. Anyway, now, of course, because we got to deal with these people that aren't that bright, as you get a lot of people now going out there and thinking that's a gotcha with Sophie Cunningham and tortured about how, oh, she started all this and now she wants to duck the smoke and change the subject. No, as she said there at the end, she was asked a question. She never made a statement on this issue. She was asked a question about it in February. She answered it. The interview came out recently. Media kept it going by asking her a couple of more times. And she basically said, yeah, I have the same answer. I said what I said. I meant what I said. And that's it. But everyone wanted to keep it going because it was such a big deal, right? You had Cheryl Reeve coming out saying nonsense and wearing her shirt. And you had Stephanie White, who can't tell you the difference between a male and a female because she's not a biologist. And you had Stephanie and Aaliyah Boston, which I thought was so piss poor and how that was handled. That is some of the most childish behavior I've ever seen, to get up and walk out in the middle of a question when you could have easily just said, hey, I understand why you're asking. we know we don't have any comment anymore on that particular topic. I think that was so poor. Very disappointed. I mean, I don't know if I can get more disappointed in Stephanie White. I was very disappointed in AB. Poor Michaela Timpson, like, took a second to realize she was the third one out there. Took a second to realize, like, oh, okay, well, we're leaving, I guess, and walking out. But so you get a lot of people now who are like, oh my God, I can't believe she's ducking. No, she's not ducking anything. And the thing I want to get to now that I want to talk about that for me is the big issue is she's right about the media. That has been such a huge problem all this time, and it's keeping the WNBA from moving forward and growing. It has never been about basketball. That's been the damn problem. The WNBA has always been about political stances and using the platform of the WNBA for that reason, right? We've always talked about how it's been a social club and what they promote within the WNBA. And they were big in the whole 2020 stuff, and they forced out the owner of the Atlanta Dream because the Atlanta Dream owner said, hey, you know what? Let's focus on basketball, not politics. But the players didn't like that because for these players, politics first. And it's always been that way. And the WNBA media, unfortunately, is the same way because they're part of that same echo chamber, right? The media that covers the WNBA feels the same way as the WNBA does on all of these issues that they talk about. And Sophie Cunningham has a point. Look, y'all know I'm not sold yet, man. I enjoy watching some players. I'm mainly here for Caitlin Clark. I do like Sophie's game, but I'm not right now, I'm not here for the WNBA. I don't think I've ever hid that from anyway because it's funny when I get people like, "Oh, you're not a fan." I'm a fan of basketball. I love basketball. I love watching Caitlin Clark be Caitlin Clark. You haven't convinced me yet that the WNBA is playing basketball on a level that will make me a fan without Caitlin Clark. My lord, I just saw some stuff from Angel Reese the other day again. It's absolutely insane. But to Sophie's point, yeah, this is a great opportunity for the entire league to dial it back, focus 100% on basketball, embrace Caitlin Clark as the face. It doesn't mean it's so weird that these wackos are always like, they think it means like always, getting on your knees and worshiping Caitlin Clark every second. No, just stop all the nonsense. She's the face. Everyone knows she's the face. She's what's bringing you eyeballs. She's what's changed your lives financially. Just accept that and then go on the court every night with the desire to prove to everyone that the product itself is good enough to warrant everybody's attention. It's good enough to keep getting the eyeballs because right now it's not. Right now, as much as people want to say other people are the face, the top 5 rated games in the WNBA this year are all Caitlin Clark games. And they're 2.5 million is number 5. I think it goes, and at 2.70, I think it's 2.70, but a peak of like 3.1 is the top rated game. Those are monster numbers. The only time numbers like that have come up were all the way back in the early portions of the league, late 90s, early 2s, where you had some games that did bigger numbers than that, but only a handful. Okay. So embrace that. Prove to us that the game itself is good enough to pay attention. Get the media to start focusing on the game and stop glazing all of these players who aren't Caitlin Clark simply because they hate Caitlin Clark and actually be basketball people. That's what Sophie's talking about. Let's make it happen. Grow the league, play some good basketball. Everything is in the palm of your hand if you just grab it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the drill by now. I will talk to you later.